America, you're under attack. Survivor here. So my point is, why would I start off a video like this? Have you not noticed that we have a bit of a problem going on in our country? Have you not noticed that there's rioting in the streets and politicians pushing crazy stuff, telling little children, telling my kids, telling other kids that you're a girl, Sally, but you should be a boy, and cut your hair like some butch, and you can turn into a boy, and you need to go down and get some dope and take some pills and mutilate yourself, and that's good for you. That is coming from our left politicians. And how dare you oppose them in any way, shape, or form? How can I, as a decent human being, support craziness like that? I won't. I won't. I will not in any way, shape, or form. But let's talk real quick a little bit about gun issues here. Have you not noticed that you're under attack? What has made America so great some 200 years ago? All the governments out there in the world were tyrannical governments after tyrannical governments after tyrannical governments. You just look on the internet and see how Stalin and Lenin had just slaughtered people and murdered and killed left and right. Hitler, we're not that far down the road from World War II. My grandfather was in World War II. Okay, right? Now, what was Hitler's goal? Talk about a Nazi, talk about a fascist. His goal was to march across the whole entire world and create a pure race. And if you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, you're just not going to make it, buddy. Right? So we'll just murder you and starve you to death and put you in a camp, right? In which they did, like you can't see the information or hear it. The clowns out there that say it doesn't exist are willingly hoping that it disappears so they can accomplish the same thing over and over. Tyrannical government after tyrannical government, we won our independence from King Louis the 14th, 15th in 1776 because we got guns and we said, don't come back. We will have representation or taxation with representation. And if you don't, we'll have a war. And we did. And we stand on that. And that's why we have the right to keep and bear arms. Sorry, I'm looking for one of my guns. But anyway, it's over there in the corner. My point here is this. America, you've got to keep those guns, and keep those guns. It's amazing to me how I see it. I'm 59 years old. When I was a kid growing up, I was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona. Raised here all my life. We didn't even think anybody trying to tell us that you shouldn't have guns. We all knew we had the right to bear arms, and if some criminal came, we could defend ourselves. If we needed to feed ourselves, we could go hunting with them. It doesn't take any kind of genius to figure out. But see, we have governments today around the world as the UN becomes more united and more global. Now they have the ability to print or make digital money. And things are kind of heating up a little weird around the world, don't you see? The left politicians go to attend the World Summit or the Future Summit by the UN. And they come back with the same agenda. Give us those guns. You can't have them. Have you not noticed they've disarmed Australia, the UK, Canada? We just saw Trudeau, last year or so? Today, I decide that you can't keep those semi-automatic rifles. You got to give them up. Mandatory buyback. And it wasn't short, 3, 4, 6 months down the road. You can't have those pistols. You got to get rid of those too. Their goal is to disarm you, America, period. As if people like me are running around the streets shooting people for the fun of it. No, not quite, right? I have a job, I have a family support, I have a future for myself. I hit the gym after working out. My guns are for self-defense, period. But I will use them for self-defense, just like anybody else would, okay? So I'm down here today in my basement, and we're doing some more reloading. We're going to... I'm going to give me two. I'll get off that point. I was going to grab one of the guns and show it to you. But anyway, my point here is the reason why I want to make this video is, of course, I want to remind you what has made America great. There are bugs flying around here. Anyway, my point is, what has made America great? The fact that we believed in God, that we had mercy and kindness for other people. There were immigrants, that they could come here and they could establish a decent life. Right? That wasn't because we're a bunch of Nazis. It's because we had trust in God. We put it on our money. God doesn't want to get you and restrict you. He wants to give you freedom. A lot of you people out there are clueless and lost, and you've been listening to the crazy left or the commies that are trying to push on you that God is some kind of restrictive mess, and you, because you don't really know the God of the Bible. You really don't. I'm sorry to tell you, but He's kind. He set me free from drugs and alcohol, and I'm a better person. Of course, a lot of you out there be like, no, be a dopehead and run the streets with us. Yeah, no. Anyway, my point is this. What has made America great? The fact that we have the right to keep and bear arms. We have seen times in past here in America where we had politicians and some sheriffs in the 1930s, different, even before that, 1800s, 1900s, that tried to cause little issues here or there. We took guns up against a couple sheriffs in Texas back in the 1930s, and we got our way. Okay, we came together as common people with a common goal was to protect ourselves, and we will have law, not lawlessness, in our country. And we decided things will go our way. They have forgotten it's we the people, not you and whatever the blink you decide to do. It's we the fucking people. Do you understand? And we will have our fucking way, or you will get that point of a gun. Are we clear? My point is, and I don't want that to happen. Now, we don't want that to happen. We want to be peace-loving people. But like Trump says, peace through strength. Okay, my point here is, and I'm not advocating violence in any way, shape, or form. I could, because I see clowns that are in our flipping government doing exactly that. Right? It's okay for them to do it. But how dare you? We'll come get you. I've seen violence, and I've helped people dying in the streets before. It's not something you want to deal with. It's not a joke. Okay? I'm telling you that you better keep those guns, America, and you better protect yourself at all costs because they're coming to get them. World leaders around the world. China says you shouldn't have those guns. It is what keeps us strong in this country, that there's a barrier between our government and the people. Have you not seen in Virginia City, a couple years ago, Virginia governor, Democrat, calling to take those assault weapons? You got to give them up, people. You got to stop this. We're going to call the National Guard. You better give them up. We'll get you. Well, I think they done had enough of that BS after 6 months or a year. And what happened? It's on the internet. You can see it all daily for yourself. 22,000 armed Americans, guns hanging all over, marched into Virginia City with signs, "We will not comply. We have guns. Leave us alone." Do you get it? We're not bothering anybody. You shouldn't have those guns. Well, if you're so worried about crime because little kids die every day and all the crime that's going on, then why don't you flip and chop heads off of people who murder? And they're what? Sitting down there in the prison, hanging out. They stab people, they get out, they come back in, they slap the wrist. And you want to have faith in you clowns trying to tell me that I need to give up my guns? I have children to protect, and I will protect them. I don't think I'll do that. Are we understanding me? Now, am I here to do anything? Of course not. I'm here to abide by the law and to keep and bear those arms. To protect my family, to protect this country from any foreign invader, and having a well-regulated militia so some whack job can't take a gun and start killing people. I go into Walmart and there's 5 people walking, or others that I've seen, not even the ones I don't know of, that have arms on their side. If somebody is committing a shooting like they have all other places, Texas and grocery stores, we can gun the mothers down, and we will. And what blows my mind is you common people out there, there's shootings everywhere in America. Just the other day, 2 people shot in New York at a synagogue. I'm sorry, maybe it wasn't New York, it was Manchester. And it was Manchester around the world. Anyway, I'm not sure 100% where it was. But anyway, 2 people shot again. We're just fresh after the Charlie Kirk shooting. And here we are in this obnoxious mess. And it's getting worse. It is going to get worse. And it's going to get worse. It's not getting better. We have a government today in the United States that the left is vehemently opposing the right. And you have the left calling for violence against the right. Now, not all of them are. But they went and helped Charlie Kirk get killed every bit of the way. They pushed the crap, they pushed the crap, they pushed the crap, and guess what? Some whack job went and shot. Then they shot up a mission church in Michigan, hating those Christians. Christians, you're under attack. And if you don't get your head out of your where, you better wake up to what's going on. And if you will come together as strong, armed Americans, they can't do much. Now, I was going to say about the Virginia situation. 22,000 armed Americans marched into Virginia City. They don't know what to do with them. Well, that didn't work out too good, did it? You're stepping on the wrong person's foot that has a gun in their hand. I just give you a suggestion. Stop it. But you do whatever you want. We try to fix stupid, but can you do? My point here is this. They still have their guns, don't they? It's been a couple of years down the road. They still are armed, aren't they? Because the cops didn't show up and do anything, did they? No FBI or CIA or any kind of agent got any stupid ideas that they may take on 20-some thousand armed Americans, did they? No, they didn't. And like I said, we'll keep our guns. Our guns are, and now I can suspect, I'm making these videos because I can suspect in the coming future, we will see them all the more in the left push for more gun control, and try to take guns away, limit ammunition, and so forth and so on. I just watched a video the other day, JFK, leader of our health administration, telling us that he said there are systems being put in place to restrict you for having food. You step between me and my food, and I guarantee you got problems. Are we clear? They're trying to put restrictions that you can't have food, and that there's a totalitarian government coming. It's a brewing, and they're coming with an agenda to get your guns. They're forcing and pushing craziness with the LGBT and with the gay people. Now, I don't hate all LGBT and all gay people by any means, okay? We love you, we care for you, we want to help you. That is the truth, and I will always be a compassionate person because that's who I am. But there are lines drawn with that situation. Are we clear? You don't push craziness on me. You don't try to get me to convert to your crazy nut mentality. There's no talking with you people. There's no getting an edge and coming and meeting some normal ground. That's all you want to do is conquer, get rid of us any way you can. And the politicians are pushing the crazy idea every bit of the way. Like as if I have any trust in any politician. I do on the right because at least we have a sense of common ground that we stand for Christian beliefs. Now, you're not Christian? Fine. You don't have to be like me. Do I hate people? I used to be a druggie running the streets. Don't even start with the mess, okay? It's changed my life for the better. But if that's not for you, fine. It's not for you, right? You don't care. The Bible's very clear. It says, I set before you life or death, blessing or cursing. It's your choice, but make the right choice. But that's what the Bible says. And if you don't want to make that choice, fine, don't. But here I am to say to you, we will keep our guns. We will keep our right to defend our country. We will keep and bear arms. Now, we have a tyrannical government coming. They have, throughout history, I saw JFK talk about tyrannical governments or a totalitarian government pushing all the time, taking your restrictions. And if you give to them or restricting you, if you give in to them, they restrict you all the more. You give a little bit, it's a give and take, right? Yeah, they take and you give. That's how that works. And we've seen wars fought in 1990s, 80s, 90s with, I want to say Lithuania, but it's not. But it's with, and they're mainly Muslim people, white Muslim people, right? Ethnic cleansing, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember the different countries that were involved. But ethnic cleansing, starving each other to death, raping children, trying to get them to leave their area and disappear forever. If you didn't think straight or hear that, you need to wake the blank up. They seek to put you in a concentration camp, rape women, beat you senseless. There's a lady who spoke out against Russia here a couple of years ago. 14 years in prison. They will starve her nearly to death, I'm sure, beat her when she's in there. And if you live You'll make it out the door after 14 years. There you go. Are you kidding me? That's what a totalitarian government does? Teach you a really good lesson because you spoke out against your government? For all you woke bunch of whack jobs that think that communism is good, they will burn you at the stake. When they get control of this country, they will throw you to the wolves. Their goal is to get us any way they can and control us and put the hammer on our neck. That is what they're coming. We'll keep America just as it is now. It needs to get better. I'm not saying there aren't serious issues. We'll keep our right to bear arms. My point is, America, it's coming. You see it all the time. More restrictions, more crazy ideas by politicians, more crazy ideas by politicians, more crazy ideas by politicians. America was doing just fine years ago when I grew up in America. We didn't have gun issues. We had belief in God. Our kids went to school. I was a normal kid. I didn't go shoot people. Even though I got into dope as a 16, 17-year-old kid, I clearly saw that was no way to live my life, and I quit. Okay? And I looked at my foolish friends who went to prison for 30 years of their life, and I said, this has got to stop. Okay? Call me for being intelligent. I know. Anyway, call me stupid for being intelligent, but I don't want to live that life. My point is, they're pushing this crazy mess, and that's what they want to do. They want to push it all the more. They want to push it all the more. You're going to put your faith and trust in these people? You need therapy. If you don't wake up, America, you're going to wish you had. Once the guns are gone, they're gone. And then they would impose restrictions upon restriction. We just saw in Australia with COVID last year, they just rounded up people who had COVID and put them in a concentration camp. Now, maybe they didn't mistreat them. Maybe they didn't. You're not coming to put me in a concentration camp in any way, shape, or form. Because once they get you in there, who knows what flipping crazy mess they may do to you, right? They have complete control of you. You will be their little servant. They will put a chain on your neck if they choose. Now, maybe they didn't mistreat them in Australia, but they sure have throughout the history of the world mistreated people, because they didn't go along with the program over and over and over and over. You keep those flipping guns, America, and you do what it takes. Go buy more. I wanted to really state about the Virginia City situation. They still have their guns, and they have. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of so many things at one time. And my point is that they still have their guns, and they still have the right to bear arms. And we didn't have a war, but we helped establish. You just leave us link alone. We're not bombing anybody. As we run the streets and shoot people, we don't. Okay, you went and told there's no God to our young children, took God out of school, told me that I need to be some kind of, oh, Billy, you have ADHD. Here's some dope to fix your problem. I'm a psychologist. I went to school for 35 years of my life, and I know you need to listen to me. No, I don't think I'll do that. Here's some Ritalin. They've proven they've taken Ritalin and things like you're never the same after they get done after years of treatment with that stupid mess. I don't trust any doctor with any kind of medication, any way, shape, or form. I've seen it time and time again. Now, if I have a heart issue, I'll take heart medication. My point is that you're not going to push on me and anybody around here anything like that. My point is, America, wake up to what's going on and what is coming. They have the ability to print digital money, and they're going to shove it right up your ASS any way they can, and you better take it or else we'll get you. This is what's coming. Go buy more guns. Go buy more ammo. Go buy, because when things start getting, once Trump gets out of office, guns are affordable right now. You can get a gun. I paid $450 for a AR-15 for my daughter. I'm building it. You can't get any cheaper than that. You can't get a decent rifle for that kind of money. And it shoots fast, and the guy with the bigger gun wins. You don't have to shoot somebody. You can just be like, look, let me help you understand. I got the big gun here. Back off. That's what they're for. And you see somebody with that in your hand, you start to get the pucker factor goes on, right? My point is, in the hands of a good person, the gun is a good thing. In the hands of the wrong person, it's an evil thing. We've got to do what we can to keep guns out of psychotic people. But here we are with politicians, again, letting people that don't belong on the street run the streets because they want to create chaos in our society. When we start fighting among ourselves, we are vulnerable to a tyrannical government coming into this country. We're very lucky years ago when Trump was president and the Capitol um, meltdown that happened in the Capitol. They broke into our building and with Congress meeting and our politicians. We could have been taken over by terrorists, shot, killed, and had overnight because of our division in our country. And it's okay for these flipping whack left to let 13 cities burn down and riot against Trump. But how dare you come against the Capitol? And now they went to prison. You don't see a problem here by our left trying to imprison people? Now, was the Capitol thing too far? Yes, it was. You broke into Congress. Now, do I agree with what they did? Yes, in many ways I did. It went a little too far, but my point is that you have the right to go down and march and do what you need to demand your right, demand your representation from your government. And they went to prison. And Trump set them free. We are in a political war. We oppose the left, they oppose us, and it is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, most likely. I hope it doesn't. I'm praying to God it gets better. We have people that want to see it all burn to the ground and get us real vehemently good. My point is, you keep those thinking guns. That is what keeps us strong in America. Are we understanding? I know that there are a lot of Christian people out there, a lot of Christian women don't really fully understand why do we have these guns, because there's so much crime going on. If they would have locked up criminals in the first place, we wouldn't have this problem. They want to commit a crime, turn them back on the streets so they can create problems in our society. Because when we are in when we are in a civil unrest, it's easy for another government to come in here, another government with an agenda, and take over this country. It won't take much to go into civil war. Not that we'll have civil war like we did before, like we did back in the day, but we could have armed groups creating instability, police fighting among other police officers. We could have help me out here, small pockets of groups, the LGBT and the gay people against Christians. We don't hate you as Christians, but you're going to have lines drawn and you're not coming after my children. And if that's what your agenda is, we got a big problem. Okay? That's right where it is. And I'll have there's no middle ground on this issue. Those are our children. My son and my daughter will live their life. And when they become 18, 20 years old, they'll make decisions for what they want to do. That is their decision. And you should back off children and let them make their decision when they want to. But you're trying to influence little kids that don't have a decision-making ability to understand what's the future, and you're pushing your craziness on our children. It's the sickest thing in the world. And you want me to have some kind of respect or some kind of love for that crazy mess? No. And you Christians out there, you need to start making lines drawn. The Bible tells us to forgive, but there are lines drawn with that, and don't you forget it. Ecclesiastes 3:3. There's a time to plant, time to mourn, time to build up. If I had an expert, I'd read it. Time to live, a time to die. And the end of that, it also tells you there's a time for war, and there's a time to kill. And here's the problem. No, I ripped that page out. I gotta get rid of that thing. When you grow up and understand that when you grow up and you understand as a Christian that God had never meant for you to, you get into it with your spouse, you need to forgive. If you get in with your neighbor, you need to let things go, because things will escalate and you'll kill somebody. There's a reason why we forgive. Within reason, and let it go. My point here is this. But if we think that we're a bunch of mamby-pambies that just are here to let the world wipe our feet on us, believe me, you got the wrong person, okay? That's not the case. And you better stand up, church, and start protecting yourself. We've seen serious attacks coming to your church and trying to kill you in the LDS. There's been 1,380 attacks since 2018 on churches. Carry a blinking gun to church. I put my AR-15 in the back of my SUV, and I have a pistol, and then I have an AR-15 in the back of the SUV, just in case some whack job starts coming in there. Of course, you people don't want to hear that, because you want to come down and kill us because you can't stand us, right? As if you were beat up by Christians last week, or we threw Molotov cocktails at your building and trying to burn you down, that's a fascist Nazi. We don't do that. It doesn't happen, does it? So you be sure to get it straight. My point is here, America, you keep those guns, and you have seen the history of this world after tyrannical government, after tyrannical government, after tyrannical government. Restrict people, push on them, kill them, starve them, and the so on and alike. You keep those guns, and don't you dare think about giving them up. Because if you do, it's the only thing that keeps us strong against our government or any other government that comes in here. We all knew what happened in World War II. They were thinking about invading us from Japan, and they gave it up because there'd be a blade, there would be a gun after behind every blade of grass. And you're damn right there is. And that's why we keep us strong. My point is, get your head straight, know what's right, do what you have to do to protect yourself. The more we have more people with armed guns and doing the right thing with them, we will be strong. If you give them up, we'll be weak, and you'll be a flipping mess that you won't believe. Anyway, until next one, be safe. Thank you.